Hey students, we are talking about statistical inference, and in statistical inference we are talking about estimation, because statistical inference is the second branch of statistics. So all we have to conclude about population parameter is based on estimation and hypothesis testing. In estimation part we have to discuss with point estimation and interval estimation. As point estimation only the single estimate about the population parameter, so it is not so reliable. We have to convert ourselves to estimation techniques, that is interval estimation. Confidence interval for the difference between two population means is my today's topic. To the recap of my previous lecture is the interval estimation for a single population mean, where we discuss about two things, z test and t test. What we have to do in z test we have to tackle two situations in z test. One is for the noun sigma, it means the population variance or population standard deviation is noun, no matter what the sample size is. Sample size could be small, sample size could be large. The second case we have to deal with sigma unknown but the sample size should be large, then we have to use z distribution. So there is only one case where we have to use t test. What's the condition of the t test? Sample size should be small and the variance should be unknown. It means we have to obtain an estimate of the sample variance from the sample. We have to obtain the estimate of the population variance from the sample. That is why we have to place small s in place of capital S. Capital S is the biased estimator of population variance or standard deviation, and small s is the unbiased estimator of population standard deviation. What's the difference between these two? We have already discussed the difference between these two terms in our previous lecture. We have to divide our sum of squares of deviations by the term n, just n, and to get n by divide summation x minus x bar whole square divided by n minus 1. Now that was a recap of my previous lecture. Coming to the new lecture, confidence interval for the difference between two population means. Here is the general formula: bar x1 minus bar x2 plus minus margin of error. It means bar x1 minus bar x2. This is the point estimate. This is the point estimate of the difference between two population means. Let's suppose bar x1 is taken from the population that has a mean of mu1, and bar x2 is taken from the population which has been termed as mu2. So mu1 minus mu2, bar x1 minus bar x2 is the point estimate of the difference between two population means, that is mu1 minus mu2. What's the difference? We have to plus or minus some margin of error. It means whatever formulas we are going to use in the further slides, that depends upon margin of error. Margin of error will change, then the whole formula and whole interval, whole technique will get changed. What is margin of error? Margin of error itself value multiplied by standard error. So what are the population means? The two samples are randomly selected, that is the basic idea. If the samples are not taken randomly, then it will be a problem for our solution. They will give bias estimates. The two groups are independent, means we are not talking about dependent groups. Data follows normal distribution. So coming to the interval estimation, we again have two conditions, z test and t test. What we have to do in z test, again we have to tackle with two situations: sigma unknown but the sample size is large, then we have to use estimate of population variance or population standard deviation, that is capital S1 and capital S2. If the variances are known, population variances are known, no matter what the sample size is, then you have to use this formula. So this is the point estimate. As I already told you that this is the same in all the situation. What's the difference? If you are talking about z test, then the table value will be same, the method of calculating table value is same, but what's the difference exists between the standard errors. So to you, example 1, two astronomers recorded observations on a certain star. The mean of 30 observations obtained by first astronomer is 8.85 and mean of 40 observations made by second astronomer is 8.20. Past experiences show that astronomers obtain readings with variance of 1.2 and 1.4 respectively. Using 95% confidence level, we find the confidence interval between the two difference between two population means. So I am taking you to my word. Here I have highlighted with different colors: mean with red, variances with green, and sample sizes with blue. The mean of 30 observations, it means what is 30? 30 is our sample size. As we are talking about two astronomers recorded observation on a certain star, so the 30 observations from the first astronomer will be our N1. And what is 8.85? Is it mu1 or bar x1? It is definitely bar x1, because this 8.85 is calculated from this N1 30 observations. And mean of 40 observations from by made by the second astronomer, because it means 40 will be our second sample size, that is N2. So the mean of 8.20 is again sample statistic. It means it is calculated from these 40 observations. So 8.20 is bar x1, 40 is N2. Past experiences shows that. It means what is past experiences? Astronomers obtain reading with variance of 1.2 and 1.4 respectively. It means we have some prior knowledge from prior studies that the variances are 1.2 and 1.4 respectively. So you can assume these two values as our sigma square, sigma 1 square and sigma 2 square. Means population, you can assume the assumption that population variances are known. So we have to use this formula to construct our confidence interval. Okay, so placing the values here, as we are discussing about 95% confidence level, so 95% z alpha by 2 is equals to 1.96. Placing these values will give us a range of the plus will give us 1.19, and doing subtraction will result in 0.11. This is a confidence interval formula. So the 95% confidence level for the difference between observations is 0.11 and 1.19. Results, but with a little modification. Two astronomers recorded observations certain star. The mean of the mean of 30 observations obtained by first astronomer is 8.85 with variance 1.2. Now what's the difference? When we are discussing about sample size, means the mean of 30 observations. 30 means we are talking about our sample size. So when they are talking about mean, meanwhile they are talking about their variances. So that means we are talking about unknown population variances. The results given to us are the readings of the 30th observations. So the same happens here in the third line. The mean of 40 observations gives us an estimate of the variance, that is 1.4. We are not talking about any past experience, we are not talking about any population word for variances, and we are not talking about any prior knowledge. So these variances are the sample estimates. For example, just the difference exists between standard error. We just have to place S in place of sigma. So results are same, but we have to use entirely different standard error. So coming to our second example, second phenomena, that is t-test. And t-test, remember we are talking about independent samples. In case of t-test, we again have to use two different approaches. One is with variances unknown, but sample size is large, assuming unequal population variances. What does it mean? Where population variances are not equal, we are not assuming that both groups are having same variances. Same variances means same dispersion, but the dispersion exists in one group is not equal to the dispersion exists in second group. The second assumption is variances are unknown, but the sample size is large, assuming equal population variances. It means what? If you are taking two groups, for example men and women, 30 observations, you are taking a sample of 30 men and you are taking a sample of 40 females from the population. So you are assuming that the dispersion exists in men group will be the same as the dispersion exists in female group. So what's the difference? Again I am talking about that the point estimate of the difference between population means is same, bar x1 minus bar x2. Then what's the difference? Here you just focus on two things: standard error and table value. First of all, standard error is entirely different. For unequal population variance, you are having this type of standard error where only S1 we are replacing S1 in Z case with small s in T case. You are seeing some P in subscript of S. That subscript of P means pooled standard deviation. It means we are pooling, we are merging, we are adding the information from two populations. So not only standard error exists, but there also exists there in their degrees of freedom and T value. So we have already discovered what is the degrees of freedom, and degrees of freedom is basically the restriction placed in terms of parameters. So what is pooled standard deviation and degrees of freedom in second case? Pooled standard deviation is basically there are two formulas. One in terms of variances and one is in terms of squared deviation, sum of squared deviations. What is this sum of squared deviations comes from? Here you can discuss, this is the general formula of any unbiased sample variances. S1 square is equals to summation of deviations comes from. This is the formula of unbiased sample variance. Ignore one. It is just one is just indicating first sample and two will just indicate the second sample. Just remember, this is the formula for the unbiased sample variance. Summation x minus x bar whole square divided by n minus 1. N minus 1 is its degrees of freedom, remember. So if you are given the information about sum of squares of deviations, then you have to use this formula to calculate your pooled standard deviation. And if you are given the information in terms of sample variances, then you can use this formula to get your estimate of the pooled standard deviation. So what's the degrees of freedom in case of equal variances assumption? Remember, n1 plus n2 minus 2. What is n1 plus n2 minus 2? What is the single degrees of freedom for this when we have to estimate about single population mean? N minus 1. And if you are having two samples, then n minus 1, n minus 1. n1 minus 1 plus n2 minus 2. Minus 1, sorry. Minus 1 gets minus 2, and n1 plus n2, arranging these two terms becomes the n1 plus n2 minus 2. So this is the degrees of freedom. Now what's the degrees of freedom in two sample t-test for unequal population variances assumption? Here is a very complex formula here for the degrees to calculate a table value for t. So coming to our example 3. In a statistics class, the average scores obtained in midterm out of 50 are noted for both male and female respondents. The scores are obtained from 12 male students, and these are given as this one, and that of 10 female students are given as this one. Construct a 95% confidence interval for the difference between average scores obtained by male and female students, assuming the population variances are equal. So I am taking to you my word in my word document. So how we have to solve all these questions? Just remember, take male as group 1 and take females as group 2. What are the readings? There are 12 readings of male. Just consider them as x1. And for the female, just consider these 10 readings as x2. Here I have calculated the mean of x1, that is, how to calculate mean? Just add these all values and divide it by 12, sorry. And what I have further done here, I have calculated sum of squared deviations. So what you have to, what is 193.6736? Just subtract 25 from 38.92. It means I am just showing you here 25 minus 38.92 and take the power 2. It means take the square of this term. Then you will get 193.6736 and so on. It means you have to subtract each value of x1 from its mean. Bar x1 here is 38.92. So you will get all these values. Okay, coming to the second sample, that is for the male, that is for the females, and there are 10 observations. What I have to do, just add all these 10 values, that is 370, and divide this sum divide by 10. It will give us the average of 37. So to calculate square deviations, just you have to do 38 minus 37, that is the bar x2 female groups, and take its square. 43, then 43 minus 37 and take its square. So all these values give us these column. Now what we have to do, I am using this formula in terms of square, sum of square deviations, because for this purpose, for this exercise, it is easy to calculate sum of square of deviations. So I have to calculate these deviations, and I have to further do, I have to take sum of these column. So what is sum of x1 minus bar x1 whole square? Where is my x1 minus bar x1 whole square column? This one. So I have to add these values, and this will give me a 634.9167. The same case here, I have to take the sum of all these values, it will give me 1010. That is the sum of square of deviation from second sample. Place all these values in this formula, and I have given the 9.07 as Pooled standard deviation. So what's the degrees of freedom? I already told you. The degrees of freedom in case of equal population varies n1 plus n2 minus 2. So n1 is 12 and n2 are the 10 values. 12 plus 10 minus 2 will give me a 20 degrees of freedom. Choosing T table, you have to get this value 2.086. So I have written here the formula for the pooled standard deviation, and plugging in values gave me the confidence interval of this. So the 95% confidence interval between average scores obtained by male and female students is this one. Coming to my example number 4, I have taken the same example as previous one, but with the difference of assumption of unequal variances. So what's the difference? Just paste this formula and calculate variances from the sum of squared of deviations, and place the degree formula for the degrees of freedom. Might possible your answer will be in fraction or decimal, so just what you have to do, just approximate it into the nearest whole number. It means, for example, your answer is equals to 15.43, then just approximate into whole number 16, because degrees of freedom can be in points. So using this value, and for calculating this value from the table, you have to just paste these values in your confidence interval formula, and you get this form. So 95% confidence interval for the difference between average scores obtained by male and female students is this one. This is just a simple interpretation of your confidence interval. Now the last topic is dependent samples. As I already told you that the previous 4 cases are for the independent groups. It means none of your sample is depending on other, but there are so many experiments and observations where we have to tackle with dependent samples. For example, readings of blood pressure taken from patient before and after taking medicines. For example, you are before taking the medicine or after taking the medicine, then this will give you a difference between whether your medicine is working or not. So the second example is reading of weights taken from people before and after taking a diet plan. Means measure your weight before taking the diet plan and measure your weight after taking your diet. That will give you a difference between whether your diet is working or not. So intention to find difference between tasting two similar things like Coke and Pepsi. The same person is tasting the two things. What's the basic difference is here? In independent samples, we have to take different samples from two groups, like 12 females, 10 males, take 20 females or 10 persons from another group. But what's the difference here? You have to use one object for two measurements. Means weight before taking diet plan and weight after taking the diet plan from the. You are not using two samples. You are using one sample but taking two measurements. That's the basic reasoning. So what's the formula for the dependent sample? Bar D. Bar D is basically the mean of the difference between two sample readings. And SD. SD is the standard deviation for the difference between measurements. And T alpha by 2, here T alpha by 2, alpha, we have to use alpha by 2 as our confidence level, and n minus 1 is our degrees of freedom. So this is the difference between independent sample t test and dependent sample of degrees of freedom. Coming to the example, to test two types of cheese made by two different companies, 12 persons are randomly selected and are asked to taste and tell the difference. Rating of taste is made on 20 points scale. Construct a 99% confidence interval for the mean difference between two tastes. Company A, for example, what is 14 and 70 means? It means there are two companies of making cheese, and one person is asked to taste both companies and tell the difference. So the person is giving 14 rating to company A and 17 rating to cheese of company B. The second person is giving rating of 8 to company A and 3 to company B. So that's the mean we are using dependent samples. The same person is tasting two things. The next person is tasting two things. So these two readings are taken from the same person will be correlated. It means these two readings are dependent on each other. So how to calculate these things? Just I have placed just the data, company A, company B, and what we have to do, we have to calculate the difference D. How you have to calculate D? A minus B. Might be possible there are x1 and x2. So how to do x1 minus x2 or A minus B? 14 minus 17 is equals to minus 3, 8 minus 3 is equals to 5, 6 minus 3, 3, 18 minus 5 is equals to 13, so on. And what is the formula? D minus D bar. Why we have to use D minus D bar? Remember confidence interval. We need mean of differences and standard deviation of difference. Remember bar x is equals to summation x over n. Here we have to use bar D. Bar D will be equals to summation D or over n. So to calculate summation D, we have to take the sum of all these values and divide the sum of all these values divided by the number of observations. So how many observations are there? There are almost, so dividing it by 12 will give us 4.0. What is SD? Standard deviation for the difference. This is the formula for the standard deviation to calculate difference. So remember, for simple formula, summation x minus x bar whole square divided by n minus 1. Just you have to replace x by d. This will give us the formula. So placing these values and calculating d minus d bar. Minus d, and what is d bar? 4.08 t. Subtract each value of d with your d bar and takes its square. This will give you all these values, and taking the sum of these values will give us the sum of squares of deviations of observations from their mean divided by n minus 1. So this is the formula for this is the estimate of the population mean differences of the standard deviation. Using this formula and placing all these values will give us the confidence interval for the population mean difference between two tastes. This was all my lecture today.